One more time for Linda. Thank you.
Mr. Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Linda Lindner, and I was born in 1964. Yep, do the math. I can't believe it either. I have a daughter who's 30 and a son who's 28. I grew up in a small town on the bay, just outside of Atlantic City, New Jersey, and my parents lived in the same house for 50 years. I grew up with a little speech impediment, and I took speech lessons. They had that back then in the 70s. I don't think they have it now, but it did help, although it wasn't good for my confidence. I was made fun of, and all my friends were boys, and if they gave me any crap, I beat them up. So I was quite the tomboy. Most of my friends that were boys, we'd become friends the next day if I did beat them up, so it was okay. When I was 12 years old, I delivered newspapers. I'd be up at 5, out the door by 6, then I had to go to school at 8 o'clock. This job was handed down to me from my brother and sister who had it, and the best part about it was that, 12 years old, I was making money. I was very shy though, and delivering the paper, you had to go and collect money at the end of each week, so I was a little nervous going up to the people's homes, but the tips were good. During 7th and 8th grade, I was star softball pitcher. That's my claim to fame. I was the pitcher, and for some reason I didn't go to high school. I went to high school, but I didn't play in high school. I played after high school, a co-ed team. That was a lot of fun because I got to play with boys. Once I got to high school, I went to Vo-Tech in 11th and 12th grade, and I wanted to study nursing, but it was all filled up, so I had to take my second choice, which was hairdressing. So in 1981, I started working in a hair salon at the end of 11th grade as the shampoo girl. I did that for a year, and a year later I graduated to the hairdresser. Then in 1983, at 19, I bought a house with my husband at the time. I got married, pregnant on my honeymoon, and the rest is history after that. My parents were not very happy that I got pregnant on my honeymoon, but I had a house at such a young age, so I was very proud of that. In 1981 was when I started as the shampoo girl, and to this day I'm still a hairdresser. Once my kids were little, I was a stay-at-home mom, and I would work out in the basement, do hair, and go to people's homes. I would work in shops here and there. In 1991, I started work in a local nursing home, and it was here where I found my true calling. I'm sorry, I get a little emotional for some stupid reason. I think it's just a woman thing. Anyway, so I wanted to be a nurse, but I had the best of both worlds working in a nursing home doing hair, and I made people feel good and look good. By the time 1996 rolled around, I was 12 years in an unhappy marriage, and we divorced. We're friendly now. I can call him up and talk about our children at any time. It wasn't easy being a single mother with a mortgage and kids that were only 9 and 11, but I was so proud to have my own home at 19 that I worked hard and I made it happen. As working in the hairdressing, you always had money in your pocket, so I like to spend. And I think that's why I like to spend, is because I always knew I'd always be making money the next day. My husband's not happy about that, and now I'm not working, but that's another story. So let's get back to the year 2000. By then, I had my own business. 2011, we bought our house down here in Florida, and it wasn't until just this past May that we live here full-time now. I gave up a great business to come here and start all over again. So in the next couple of weeks, you might be seeing my ad in the paper for doing hair for people who are shut in. I'd really love to get back into a nursing home, but it is hard to get your foot in the door. Hopefully that will happen soon. So I love what I do, and I believe I'm good at what I do. I just lost my dad in July 29th. He was 80 years old. He suffered so much for the last year. He was in such pain and agony from all the things that were wrong with him. My mother fell 2 days later, and after we buried him, and fractured her wrist, had pins in her arm till October 8th. Then September 15th, she fell again and fractured her